What's up, guys? I want to go over a combo video for a GigaPlant FTK combo. I personally prefer to watch videos where people use real cards instead of using DevPro or Dueling Book or whatever online duel simulator that you want to use. But I prefer real cards because there's, one, it looks better to me, and two, if I mess up a combo, I don't have to start entirely over. I can just kind of catch myself and fix it. But essentially, for this combo to work, you need to open Lonefire Blossom or Protoplant Scorpio, a Rescue Ferret, or Emerging Rescue, the spell card that searches it. And then you can open Destrudo. That we're going to use these three cards to demonstrate the FTK. Destrudo can also be a Glow Up Bulb, a Foolish Burial, Soul Charge, 1/1 plus any monster. I'm sure that there's a way to do it with terraforming and any card so that you use Ravine to access this anyway. But to keep it semi-basic, we'll just use these three cards. So for the purpose of this video, my hand will remain down here, unless I say otherwise. And then I don't have a deck, I just have a pile of cards here that I'm going to pull from to show you the combo. Because this isn't like a deck profile or anything, it's just kind of to open a discussion to see if maybe there's a way to do this more efficiently. And this is slightly different than the Phoenix Cluster Topologic FTK that I've seen around lately. So without further ado, I guess we'll just go right into it. You're going to normal summon Lonefire. Lonefire's effect to tribute itself. I don't think it's necessary to filter Lonefire like into other Lonefires, but we'll just say we did that. And you're going to Protoplant Scorpio. Scorpio is going to trigger, discard a Destrudo to special summon Cobra. Cobra will activate its effect to add a Brilliant Fusion from your deck to your hand. So from here, a lot of decks already, like Lightsworn and other Brilliant Fusion decks, already use this Protoplant engine and this combo, so people are probably familiar with this. But we use Invoker to attach something, to special summon the Thousand Blades from our deck. And then we'll link these away into Mrs. Radiant. So now we have two open links, zones where we can put extra deck cards, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to activate Brilliant Fusion to special summon a Gem Knight Seraph Knight by sending a Gem Knight card and a Trick Clown to the graveyard. Trick Clown's going to activate, which is going to make our Thousand Blades also activate out of the graveyard because we take 1,000 damage. Make a note here that the 1,000 damage here is also why the Emerging Rescue card, whatever the spell card that searches this, works, because it requires your life to be lower than your opponent's. So Trick Clown help facilitates the activation requirement for that card. So now this is our board. After we resolve Brilliant Fusion, we have Thousand Blades, Trick Clown, Seraph Knight, this guy in hand. We're going to activate Seraph Knight's effect to additionally normal summon the Rescue Ferret. So from here, positioning for this matters a lot. So where you put your monsters matters as far as link markers and combos and whatnot. So we're going to use our Seraph Knight and our Trick Clown to link summon Ib the World Chalice. There's a way at this point in the combo to where you just make Proxy Dragon here, and you alleviate a combo with Ningrisu with this card that lets you draw an extra card. But for the purpose of this video, I just wanted to pretend we had no other cards in hand to kind of do it at the simplest form. So we're going to go with Ib. And now that we have 1, 2, 3 spots that are pointed to by link markers, we'll activate Rescue Ferret. He puts himself in the bottom of the deck to special summon monsters equal to level 6 to the zones that are pointed to by a link monster. So their effects on the field are negated, but that shouldn't matter for what we're doing, because we're going to get a Plague Spreader, a Cobalt Hedgehog, and a Synchro Fusionist. From this point in the combo, you're going to use your Thousand Blades and your Cobalt Hedgehog to link summon a Proxy Dragon. And then you're going to use the Proxy Dragon and the Mrs. Radiant for Ningrisu because it requires 2 link monsters. Ningrisu is summoned pointing to a World Chalice monster, so he's going to draw you a card. We will treat this card here as a random card drawn by Ningrisu because for the sake of the combo, it doesn't matter what the card is. At this stage, we're going to activate Destrudo out of the graveyard, so we're going to pay half our life points to special summon Destrudo targeting Synchro Fusionist. So we can use the Destrudo and the Fusionist. Destrudo goes to the bottom of the deck to Synchro Summon a Power Tool Dragon. When the Synchro Fusionist leaves the field, he's going to add a Polymerization from your deck to your hand. So this is our hand down here. And now we're going to activate the Power Tool Dragon's effect to reveal 3 equipped cards in our deck and randomly add 1 to our hand. In this case, we're going to reveal 3 Supervise. If you open to Supervise in your opening hand, in theory, when making this combo, you could just do a lot more than what I'm doing now because you can skip a step to make Power Tool because you've already had the card that you're trying to search. So you can use the materials that you made Power Tool in order to go into Firewall and stuff, which we're going to do anyway, but just a mental note of that too. So the other Supervise go back in the deck. And then, so our hand here is Supervise, Poly, and a random card. So we can use the Power Tool Dragon and the Ningrisu to link summon into Firewall Dragon, because Ningrisu is a link rating of 3 and 1 monster is Power Tool. Because we're co-linked with Firewall to 1 link monster, we can activate Firewall's effect to add a monster from our graveyard to our hand, which will be Lone Fire Blossom. So, we control a tuner, so from our graveyard we're going to activate Cobalt Hedgehog, who just special summons himself. This is just kind of for extra fodder for link summoning. There's certain versions of this combo where you can synchro for Coral Dragon or Stardust Charge Warrior to draw additional cards, but we'll just use that as is. And then we will use the Cobalt Hedgehog, the Ib, and the Plague Spreader to summon a second Firewall Dragon. Keeping in mind that the Hedgehog is banished because it used its effect. So this is our graveyard. This Firewall will trigger because a monster it points to left the field, so it's going to special summon the Lone Fire from our hand. And this Firewall has not yet activated, so we can do that now and add another Lone Fire from our graveyard to our hand. This Lone Fire Blossom that we special summoned will activate its effect, attributing itself for a GigaPlant. I'm going to move our hand up here just for the sake of the video right now. GigaPlant will be equipped with the Supervise. Oh wait, by the way, when the Lone Fire activates its effect, this Firewall can trigger to special this Lone Fire from your hand because it hasn't activated that effect yet. Equip the Supervise on the GigaPlant, and now the GigaPlant can special summon a plant from your graveyard. So you're going to go ahead and special summon a Lone Fire. You're going to use the Lone Fire to special summon another GigaPlant from your deck. So from here, this Lone Fire has not yet activated, which is pretty relevant because we're going to activate the Poly to fuse 2 Gemini monsters. This is also a point in the combo where I sadly have to proxy a 50-cent card because I don't own it. It's a card called Super Alloy Beast Raptius or something. It's a fusion monster, so I'm going to fuse it here. That's a proxy for it. It's not the actual card, but the card says all face-up Gemini monsters gain their effects, essentially. You don't have to re-normal summon them to gain their effects. When Supervise leaves the field, it's going to special summon a GigaPlant from the graveyard, who is now live because of the fusion monster. So this GigaPlant will activate its effect to special summon this Lone Fire from the grave, who will tribute itself to search the deck for the 3rd GigaPlant. And now this Lone Fire here, who has not activated his effect, will tribute the GigaPlant that has already activated his effect to special summon a plant from our deck, which will be Dandelion. So from here, we will use Dandelion and the Lone Fire to overlay into a second Invoker. For the record, there's a way to do the same combo without running 2 Invoker, just by making a 3rd Firewall and adding Invoker back to your hand, but we'll just use a second Invoker here for the sake of the combo. Invoker is going to detach the Lone Fire to special summon a Amazoness Archer from your deck. So from here we've done it. The extra card in our hand isn't relevant for this play, but drawing it off of Ibn Negrisu makes Plague Spreader live, so that is relevant to make the 3rd Firewall if you don't want to use the other Invoker, I believe. But Amazon Archer basically says I can tribute 2 monsters to inflict 1200 damage to your opponent. It's a terrible card. It facilitates a bunch of FTKs. It's a lot like Royal Magical Library in a sense, where the only time that it sees play is to be degenerate, so this is one of those instances. We'll use the effect. It's not once per turn, so we're going to tribute 2 monsters, which are the Firewalls, to inflict 1200. This GigaPlant that is not yet activated as effect will activate. From this point, by the way, I'm going to use a die to represent who has not activated effects as far as GigaPlants are concerned. He will get the GigaPlant, who will then activate the effect to special the other GigaPlant from your graveyard, who has not activated his effect. Amazon Archer will tribute 2 GigaPlants to inflict 1200 damage. And then this GigaPlant will get 1 back. And then this GigaPlant will get 1 back. And then you see an infinite loop. So from this stage of the combo, 1 GigaPlant brings back 2. The Archer tributes the 2 that have been used. You use the unused GigaPlant to loop infinite GigaPlant burn. Admittedly, this is super susceptible to hand traps, pretty much all of them. If you Ash Blossom the first Lone Fire, you pretty much lose. If you activate Ghost Ogre on most of the things throughout the combo, you basically just lose the game. However, if your opponent max sees you and they don't have the other hand traps, once you get to this stage of the combo, you should be able to deck them out through even through Ash or Ghost Ogre, because if you can infinitely summon these GigaPlants, even in theory, if they Ghost Ogre the Amazoness Archer, you can use 2 GigaPlants to overlay into Beatrice and extend further with cards like Glow Up Bulb or Spore that are still in your deck in theory. So I'm not saying that this deck would be good by any means, but the combo itself is interesting, and it's a 3-card combo where none of the cards are limited, and 2 of the 3 cards, well actually all 3 of the cards are searchable in some way. They're all tutorable, so let me know what you think. If there's any ways to trim the combo down, or if I did something completely ass backwards, let me know. But yeah, I plan on making more videos like this to just talk about different Yu-Gi-Oh! Theory and combos and whatnot, so thanks for watching, and let me know what you think.